RPNM radio host Juliet Davy faces potential suspension over Iowa's station breach. Regulatory authority TATT addresses alleged degrading statements against Judge. The Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago, TATT, has found that radio station Trinibashment 91.9 FM, owned by soca artist Neil Iwer George, had acted in breach of its concession by allowing insightful and degrading statements to be made against a high court judge that had the potential of bringing the judiciary into disrepute. The contentious statements were made by 91.9 FM announcer Juliet Davy and some members of the public during a call-in program on the station on January 30th. At the receiving end of the criticism was Justice Frank Seepersad after he delivered a judgment in favor of Valsayn businessman Inshan Ishmael in a claim for defamation he had brought against Calypsonian Crocrow, Weston Rawlins. Justice Seepersad had directed in January that Rawlins pay to Ishmael $250,000 in compensation for defamation of character, stemming from the lyrics in one of his compositions titled "Another Sat is Outside Again." The song was performed during a competition in February 2023. In the song, Rawlins referred to Ishmael as a thief who was selling stolen car parts. The Express understands that so far, Ishmael has not received any payment from Rawlins, given that he has since filed an appeal against the judge's ruling. On Wednesday, TAT wrote to the station informing it of its breach. In the letter that was signed by TAT CEO Cynthia Reddick Downs, the station was informed that it had breached conditions D9A and D9C of its concession by allowing statements to be made about the judge and/or the judiciary. The letter did not indicate whether immediate action was being taken against the station, but stated that the breach and other breaches will be considered in the upcoming renewal of their concession. The Express attempted to contact George for comment yesterday, but calls to his cell phone, as well as WhatsApp messages, went unanswered. Following the statements on the program, sources said Justice Seepersad had also written to the Law Association of Trinidad and Tobago, LATT, Chief Justice Ivor Archie, as well as the Office of the Attorney General, over his concerns. The judiciary responded to the judge, but indicated it did not see the need to issue any statement. There were no responses to the judge's letter from either LATT or the AG's office. The Express also attempted to contact LAT President Lynette Seabaran-Sweet yesterday, but calls to her cell phone also went unanswered. Hateful and racist attacks. Following the judgment, Justice Seepersad, according to sources in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, TTPS, had written to Police Commissioner Erla Christopher regarding concerns over his safety. He pointed out that death threats were being made against him, presumably over his judgment in the Ishmael and Rawlins matter. That letter was issued to Christopher on February 1st. In it, Justice Seepersad said he was seeking the commissioner's urgent assistance following another of many threats to his life. The judge advised Christopher that he had to make a police report of an incident where a man of African descent threatened him, saying, "Dat is D stinks T judge, only pressing black people. I sorry I have to use my rounds or I woulda done ya today." Seepersad wrote that he has been the target of hate and racist attacks following the Ishmael judgment. The letter stated that he was ridiculed, called a racist, and on the program hosted by Davy, numerous callers expressed very strong and hateful views, primarily premised upon his ethnicity. He had further expressed concerns that his conduct in a particular high-profile matter before him may be weaponized against him. The judge had also reiterated that an email death threat he received in 2022 was still under active probe and the perpetrator is still at large. He had raised questions and concerns about the top cop's decision to revise his security when this matter is still looming and open. The judge further informed Christopher that he had advised his attorney to release his letters publicly in the event that he becomes a crime statistic if his request for security is rejected. Death threats. In June 2020, a brass-colored 9mm round of ammunition was sent to Seepersad in the mail with a note saying, You are a whole racist, a infidel, a evil man, fed up of you, resign okay, shot call. This would look nice between your eyes. His security detail was increased after that threat. In 2022, he received a death threat via email that he and his family would suffer if he set aside a near billion-dollar judgment against the National Infrastructure Development Company, Ltd., NIDCO, for terminating its 2011 contract with Constructora OAS for the Solomon Hochoy Highway extension from San Fernando to Point Fortin. Had stated, many people need the wicked government to pay OAS. Respect the ruling. If you set aside sick, a hit will be put on you and you will live each day in fear till dia do julgamento, judgment day in Portuguese. If you make creditors suffer, your family will suffer too when we take you out. Just do the right thing or it's I sick, bye-bye for you. On December 15, 2022, CPRSAD ruled that the arbitrator's order that NIDCO pay OAS $857 million be set aside as he found the arbitration court erred when it either disregarded, misconstrued, or failed to properly evaluate certain pieces of evidence before it. On May 31, 2023, Christopher sent correspondence to Justice CPRSAD advising that there existed negligible threats against him, and a decision had been taken to revise his security from 3 special branch officers to 1. CPRSAD also has his private security personnel.